I'm speaking to you today from outside the doors of the dining room. We've just had lunch, pizza, salad, homemade banana bread. It was very good lunch. But I don't want to talk about lunch. What I'd like to talk about is another person whose life was very much influenced and affected by the spiritual exercises that she made. So when I returned to Phoenix in 2006, I soon met a couple of Spanish-speaking women who were interested in growing in their spiritual life. So we were able to set up the 19th Annotation Retreat for both of them. And for one of them, Adela, there was a sister who led her through the exercises for, 8 or 9 months. At the end of that time, there was something wonderful that took place. She helped form this little community of women, nothing formal, but very wonderful, and they supported each other in their faith, and they also began to do little projects. For her, she became very involved in a house of prayer, and she began to help out there, and it was a wonderful thing. At the same time, she was growing in her own desire to lead people in the spiritual life, and it's always so important for the Spanish-speaking people because here in the United States, often there are not the same resources that they could find in other countries. And so she even traveled to Guadalajara a couple of times to take courses, workshops in being a spiritual director. She studied that here. She went through the Diocese of Phoenix program that they had for ministry in Spanish, did all these various things, and then eventually began to hold Ignatian retreats at this house of prayer. And lo and behold, the house of prayer, she became in charge of it in a definitive way about 5 years ago, and has continued giving Ignatian retreats and also providing that place for other people to get away and to pray. She discovered in Ignatian spirituality a great vehicle to help other people to grow closer to the Lord. And in the spiritual exercises, something that could really be a beautiful way of sharing the faith that we have. But also through the spiritual exercises and the discernment that it offered, it became a way for her to help guide people through the spiritual life. And during these last 10 years, more or less, that she has been engaged, and then more than that, wonderful things have happened because of that first initial exposure to the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. And that is the wisdom of St. Ignatius for today.